Hi, welcome to the Introduction to Ethereal Mechanics. All mainstream scientific theories profess a model or something that fills free space in order for their models to work. Classical physics, they came up with the luminiferous ether. Cosmology, they have dark matter and dark energy. In relativity, they have the fabric of space-time. I'm sure you've seen a little demonstration with the ball on the foam rubber. Quantum mechanics, they have the quantum foam. Zero-point energy, and I'm sure there's many others that are out there. And so this idea that space is empty is patently ridiculous because every scientific theory requires something to be in free space in order for their theories to work. Ethereal mechanics is going to propose a new addition to the list that will go by the name ether. This is a variation of the luminiferous ether of 100 years ago, but it's different in many ways. But like the old model, this ether model provides a mechanism for the propagation of light. Additionally, it provides for the means to convey all force at distant effects. I'm going to put a link to the Foundation Series playlist if you want to see the experiment concepts that led to this Ethereal Mechanics, a Foundation Series. I'll put the link at the end of this introduction. So even if you have a philosophical problem with the concept of a space-borne medium, then simply just consider this an abstract model. It really makes no difference to me, and let me explain why. I'm an engineer, and this is we'll get back to the reason. My job is to build machines to solve problems such as overpopulation, dwindling energy, etc., etc. However, time is running out because world population is expanding ever fast and energy resources are dwindling. And when people become angry because their standard of living and hopes for a bright future diminish because of dwindling resources, they turn to their leaders for answers. And the course of action that leaders typically take involve population reduction. For example, prior to World War I, the problems that faced the Romanovs were not unique to Russia. Problems were all over Europe. And when Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated, that gave the excuse to all the royalty of Europe to go to war to give their people something else to shoot at other than them. Now, people in power are going to protect themselves by any means possible. They're people after all. Okay, but there's got to be a better solution. For example, there's got to be new forms of energy. E equals mc squared says there's a gazillion amounts of power and wattage just stuck in frozen matter. But we can't get at it. Why is that? Why can't we release the energy and solve the energy problem overnight? Why can't we get to new worlds and have the means to get there? These would be the better solution. And we don't have time to wait while scientists fondle their bosons. Consider this. Okay, the theory of relativity has a model for gravity, but does not have a model for matter. Quantum mechanics attempts to explain matter, but can't explain gravity. Gravity doesn't seem to come out in any of their equations. This impasse has been going on for more than 60 years. We have far exceeded Einstein's definition of insanity. People, it's time to declare it a failure. But scientists will never admit to failure because that means everything they've worked for, all their careers, all their PhDs are all for nothing. So they're never going to admit to failure. They're going to try to hold on to this to every tooth and nail because their livelihoods depend on it. That's why. People are going to protect themselves. So it's time to declare something new. If you've seen the Foundation Series, video series already, you know where we're going. Engineers have no problem using empirical, abstract, or even equivalent models in order to get the job done. Okay, heck, the flat Earth model is still in use. You can still go to universities, and there's actually a model that explains how wide you can go and still use the flat Earth model on the surface of the Earth. So it really does not matter if this new ether theory is ridiculed as just an abstract model or an equivalent model or whatever you want to call it. As long as we get the correct answers, then the theory is useful enough to get the job done. That's all that matters, is getting answers that will allow us to get the job done. We can use a unicorn model if it allows us to get the job done. So who am I? Blah, blah, blah. You can read this on your own. So this first course is going to be the introduction, which we're in now, and the unary field models. This course introduces a new ether argument in a standalone fashion which does not require expertise in EM field theory. The purpose of this is to carry along as many people as possible. So you don't have to understand field theory in order to understand this ether course. The next lecture right after this is going to be the standalone ether argument. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to ethereal mechanics. To see the precursor work which led to the idea that an ether must exist and its properties, you can see the Foundation Series. I'll include the link to the playlist here. The companion playlists is the new wave theory, which is developing a new wave model that is more consistent with the ether models that we're developing. The rules of scientific acquisition, this was borrowed from the Feringhi. These are both in production now. And Q-vectors, which is going to be overhauled because I've come up with an even better form of vectors. Basically, I'm improving vectors to allow for multiplication and division without loss of information. That's the improvement that I've added to vector math. Anyway, thanks for helping out. And give me thumbs up and get the word out. Thank you very much.